Once upon a time in a prosperous town, there lived a wealthy man named Chief Akande. He was known far and wide for his vast estates, thriving businesses, and generous heart. Despite his riches, there was one matter that troubled him deeply: his two sons, Edward and Thomas. Edward, the elder, was charismatic and confident. He had a sharp mind for business and was well liked by many in the town. But beneath his charm lay arrogance. Edward believed he was entitled to everything his father had built and often looked down upon those less fortunate. He scoffed at the poor, dismissed the servants, and treated people as if they were mere stepping stones in his path to success. Edward had a wife, Omolara, who was envious and pompous. She believed she was going to be the matriarch of the estate when Chief goes to the next world beyond. A beautiful but yet arrogant wife who cares for herself only. Thomas, the younger son, was quite the opposite. He was kind, gentle, and humble. He never sought attention or praise, preferring instead to help others quietly. Thomas spent his days tending to the estate's workers, ensuring they were well cared for, and often gave his time and money to those in need. Though he lacked his brother's flair for business, Thomas had a heart of gold. Thomas had a God-fearing wife, Yemi, who supports her husband always, be it rain or sunshine. A beautiful wife that does not underrate anyone and loved her family. As Chief Akande grew older, the question of who would inherit his wealth and estates weighed heavily on his mind. Edward had the skills to manage the fortune, but his arrogance worried his father. Thomas had the compassion and humility, but Chief Akande feared he lacked the assertiveness to protect and grow the family legacy. One day, Chief Akande decided to put his sons to the test. He summoned them both to his grand study and gave them each a small portion of land, equal in size but differing in quality. Edward received a fertile plot near the town, rich in resources, while Thomas was given a barren piece of land on the outskirts of the estate. "Prove to me that you can make the most of what you're given," Chief Akande told them. "In a year's time, I will decide who will inherit my wealth." Edward smirked at his brother, confident that his fertile land would make him the obvious choice. He quickly set to work, hiring the best laborers and planting the finest crops. The land yielded bountifully, and Edward's plot soon became the envy of the town. He was certain that his father would be impressed. Thomas, on the other hand, faced a daunting challenge. His land was rocky and dry, with little to offer. But Thomas did not despair. He spent days digging wells to find water and weeks learning about which plants could thrive in such harsh conditions. He worked alongside the few workers he could afford to hire, showing them kindness and respect. As time passed, Thomas's plot slowly transformed. Though it did not yield as much as Edward's, it became a place of beauty and life, with hardy crops that could sustain those who lived on it. Thomas humbly presented his modest results, explaining the challenges he faced and how he had overcome them. He spoke not of his own success, but of the workers who had helped him, and how the land could now support those who had little. Chief Akande listened carefully, his heart heavy with the decision he had to make. He could see that Edward had the skills to manage wealth, but his arrogance was a danger. Thomas, though less successful in material terms, had shown resilience, compassion, and a deep understanding of the true value of the land and the people who worked it. In the end, Chief Akande made his choice. He called both sons before him and said, "Edward, you have shown great skill in increasing the wealth of your land. But wealth without humility is like a tree without roots. It cannot stand for long. Thomas, you have shown that even in the face of difficulty, you can create something beautiful and lasting, not just for yourself, but for others as well. True wealth is not just in gold and land, but in the hearts of those who hold them.